If you're over 60, there is something happening inside your legs right now that most people will never warn you about. You may notice it when you climb the stairs and your calves feel heavier than they used to. You may feel it during quiet evenings when your feet stay cold even under a blanket. You may sense it on your morning walks when your legs tire long before your breathing does. And some nights, you may wake up to a sudden cramp that twists your calf into a tight, burning knot that leaves you gripping your leg in shock. Most seniors blame aging. Others think it's arthritis. A few blame their shoes, their mattress, or their blood pressure. But the truth is far simpler and far more reversible than you think. Your legs are not failing you. Your blood flow is. After 60, circulation in the legs begins to decline so quietly that most older adults don't realize what's happening until the symptoms become impossible to ignore. The arteries stiffen, the vessel walls lose flexibility. Micro-blockages begin forming. Oxygen struggles to reach the calves, ankles, and feet. And before you know it, your legs begin whispering the first warnings. Numb toes, tingling feet, slow walking, burning thighs, swelling around the ankles, and a heaviness that feels like you're dragging sandbags with every step. But here's what most seniors never hear, something that should be shouted from every doctor's office and every senior health center. Your circulation can return, your legs can feel warm again, your steps can feel lighter again, your energy can rise again. And for many adults over 60, the key is shockingly simple: restoring the vitamin deficiencies that silently sabotage blood flow. Because scientists now know that older adults lose up to 30 to 50% of several essential vitamins that keep arteries open, muscles oxygenated, and nerves alive. When these vitamins fall, circulation collapses. But when they're restored, the transformation can feel instant. Some seniors report warmer feet in a single day, easier walking within a week, and fewer nighttime cramps almost immediately. And today, I am going to reveal the 5 vitamins doctors and vascular experts are now recommending to boost leg and foot circulation. Fast vitamins that strengthen arteries, expand blood vessels, repair nerves, and even dissolve the micro-blockages that build up with age. Each of these vitamins plays a different role. Some act like artery openers, some help your blood carry more oxygen, some protect your nerves from damage, and one of them works so quickly that seniors often say, "I felt it the same day." But before we get to the first vitamin, you need to understand something vital. Circulation decline does not start in your legs. It starts in your bloodstream. It starts in your cellular chemistry. It starts with deficiencies that build slowly over years, deficiencies nobody told you to look for. And once you understand how these missing vitamins destroy circulation, you'll understand exactly how to fix it. For most adults, circulation decline doesn't begin with pain, swelling, or even cold feet. It begins with something far more subtle: fatigue in the muscles, slower recovery after walking, or a slight heaviness in the calves that appears out of nowhere. These are the first signs that your body is struggling to deliver enough oxygen-rich blood to your legs. And yet, almost nobody over 60 realizes what's really happening inside their arteries when these symptoms begin. The truth is that circulation doesn't collapse overnight. It collapses molecule by molecule, year by year, as your body loses the raw materials it needs to keep your arteries open and your blood flowing freely. And the biggest trigger for this decline isn't cholesterol or inactivity or even high blood pressure, though all of these play roles. The silent destroyer of circulation is vitamin depletion. As you age, your digestive system becomes less efficient. Your stomach acid weakens, your absorption rate drops, your appetite changes, and the tissues lining your intestines thin. That means even if you are eating reasonably well, your body may no longer be absorbing the vitamins required to keep your blood vessels functioning. Doctors know this, but they rarely explain the consequences clearly, especially when it comes to leg and foot circulation. The first serious decline happens in vitamin D, which is essential for keeping inflammation under control. After 60, inflammation levels rise dramatically in the bloodstream, stiffening your arteries and weakening the endothelial layer that regulates blood flow. Without enough vitamin D, the blood vessels cannot relax. They remain tight, narrow, and resistant to flow. Seniors often think their legs are getting weaker, but it's their arteries that are becoming rigid, starving the muscles of oxygen. The second deficiency that quietly destroys circulation is vitamin B12. This vitamin is responsible for keeping the nerves in your legs alive and functional. When B12 drops, which is extremely common after age 60, the nerves lose protective insulation. Messages between the brain and the feet become weak or delayed. This leads to numbness, tingling, burning sensations, balance problems, and the dreaded pins and needles feeling. Seniors believe these symptoms are natural signs of aging, when in reality they are the direct result of a vitamin deficiency damaging the nerves responsible for coordinating blood flow and muscle movement. Then there is vitamin E, one of the strongest natural antioxidants your bloodstream depends on. Vitamin E prevents oxidative damage inside the arteries and keeps blood platelets from clumping together. When vitamin E levels fall, micro-clots begin forming inside the tiny vessels of the feet and toes. These clots aren't large enough to cause a stroke, but they are big enough to choke your circulation. They block the narrow pathways that deliver oxygen to your lower legs. This is why some seniors develop cold, discolored feet or experience sudden sharp pains while walking or resting. Another crucial vitamin that collapses with age is vitamin C, the nutrient responsible for keeping your artery walls elastic and flexible. Without vitamin C, your arteries stiffen. They lose their natural ability to open when your muscles need more blood. Studies show that older adults with low vitamin C levels have significantly poorer circulation, slower healing, and higher rates of calf cramping. Many seniors who report tight calves or slow walking are actually suffering from arterial stiffness caused by long-term vitamin C depletion. And finally, there is vitamin K2, a vitamin most seniors have never even heard of. K2 is responsible for guiding calcium into your bones and keeping it out of your arteries. When K2 levels fall, calcium begins depositing inside the blood vessel walls. This mineral hardening is one of the biggest causes of poor circulation after age 60. It narrows the arteries, restricts blood flow, reduces oxygen delivery, and dramatically increases the risk of leg pain while walking. Doctors call this arterial calcification. Seniors call it, "My legs don't work like they used to." Together, these vitamin deficiencies create the perfect storm. Your arteries become stiff, your nerves lose strength, your blood thickens, your capillaries clog, your muscles suffocate, and gradually your legs begin to show signs of a system running out of fuel. But here's the part most seniors never hear. Correcting these deficiencies can reverse much of this damage. When the right vitamins are restored, blood flow increases, nerves recover, vessels soften, oxygen returns to the legs, and seniors begin walking with strength they thought they had lost forever. Next, we reveal the first two vitamins that boost circulation fastest and how to take them for immediate results. Now that you understand how vitamin deficiencies quietly choke off blood flow to your legs, it's time to reveal the first two vitamins that can bring that circulation back often faster than seniors ever expect. These are the vitamins that older adults feel working inside their legs. The vitamins that warm cold feet, soften stiff arteries, calm nerve misfires, and deliver oxygen to muscles that have been starving for years. These are the vitamins that start the transformation. The first is vitamin D, the circulation stabilizer. Most seniors don't realize how dramatically vitamin D controls the tone of their arteries. Without enough vitamin D, inflammation rises like smoke inside the blood vessels, irritating and stiffening them until they no longer open the way they should. This is why so many adults over 60 notice their legs feeling tight in the morning or heavy during simple walks. It is not the muscles failing, it is the arteries refusing to relax. When vitamin D levels rise again, something remarkable happens. The inflammation begins to fade. The pressure inside the arteries drops. The vessels soften, widen, and finally allow blood to move freely into the calves and feet. Many seniors describe the first few days of restoring vitamin D as a slow warmth returning, or "my legs feel lighter when I stand up," or "the tightness is loosening." And the reason is simple. Vitamin D signals the endothelial cells lining your arteries to release nitric oxide, the chemical that tells your vessels to open. Without vitamin D, nitric oxide production collapses. With vitamin D, it begins flowing again, and so does your circulation. This vitamin acts like the master switch that tells your arteries, relax, let the blood through. When it switches back on, your legs wake up. The second vitamin works even more dramatically for many seniors: vitamin B12, the nerve protector. If vitamin D opens your arteries, B12 restores the communication lines that tell your legs how to function. When B12 levels fall, the nerves in your feet begin losing their protective sheath. This is when seniors start feeling numbness, tingling, burning, and the sensation that their feet are half asleep. It is also when balance begins to decline. Weak nerves cannot tell your blood vessels when to dilate, and they cannot tell your muscles when to contract properly. And with every passing month of B12 deficiency, the nerves grow weaker and circulation grows worse. But here is the good news: nerves respond quickly when they finally receive B12 again. Seniors who restore B12 often notice a shift within days: a gentle buzzing easing away, a lightness replacing the heaviness, a more confident step when they rise from a chair. And within weeks, deeper changes begin. Blood vessels that had been stuck in a constricted state start receiving proper signaling again. The feet stop feeling dead or cold. The calves stop tightening randomly. The body begins waking up areas that had slowly gone numb. This is why neurologists across Europe routinely test seniors for B12 when they see circulation problems. Not because the vitamin boosts blood flow directly, but because it restores the nerves that control that flow. Without B12, no amount of walking, stretching, or hydration can fully restore leg circulation. With it, the entire system starts operating smoothly again. The power of these vitamins becomes even clearer when you hear stories from seniors who experienced the change firsthand. There was Martin, a retired factory supervisor from Leeds, who spent 3 winters believing his cold, numb feet were simply part of aging. He wore thick socks, heated slippers, and even placed electric warmers under his desk. Nothing helped. But when his doctor discovered his vitamin D was almost non-existent and his B12 levels were dangerously low, everything shifted. 6 weeks later, Martin was walking outside without complaints. He said, "It felt like my legs remembered how to be alive." Or Aina, a 70-year-old grandmother from Lisbon who struggled with balance for years. She thought her legs were weak. But the truth was simpler: her nerves weren't working. After restoring B12, her confidence walking returned. She no longer clung to the rail when stepping off her porch. "It wasn't weakness," she said. "It was a signal problem." This is what makes vitamin D and B12 the starting point for rebuilding leg circulation. They don't just improve blood flow. They restore the fundamental systems that support it. One opens the vessels. The other opens the communication pathways. And when both begin working together, seniors often feel like their legs are 10 years younger. In next part, we will reveal the next 2 vitamins nutrients that dissolve micro-clots, soften hardened arteries, and dramatically improve oxygen delivery to your feet. If vitamin D and B12 turn the lights back on inside your blood vessels, the next 2 vitamins act like cleaners and repair workers, removing the microscopic blockages that clog your circulation, softening stiff arteries, and restoring the flexibility your legs once had. These vitamins don't just help blood move, they help blood reach places it hasn't reached properly in years. And for seniors over 60, that difference can feel life-changing. The third vitamin in this sequence is vitamin E, often called the circulation vitamin by vascular researchers. Vitamin E has a unique role inside the bloodstream. It prevents blood cells from clumping together and forming tiny blockages. These micro-clots are one of the most overlooked causes of cold feet, numb toes, and calf tightness in older adults. They aren't big enough to show up on scans. They aren't painful like a major clot. But they quietly clog your capillaries, the microscopic vessels responsible for delivering oxygen to your skin, nerves, and muscles. When vitamin E levels fall, the blood becomes sticky, movement becomes slower. Oxygen delivery drops. And seniors start noticing the first signs: pale toes, slow wound healing, coldness that never goes away no matter how many socks they wear. But when vitamin E rises again, the blood thins just enough to move freely. The micro-clots dissolve. The capillaries reopen. Warmth begins returning to the feet, sometimes in just a few days. This is why older adults often describe taking vitamin E as feeling like, "My toes woke up," or "the color came back." It is not a miracle. It is biochemistry finally working again. Studies from Europe show that seniors with optimal vitamin E have significantly better peripheral circulation and lower risk of foot numbness and calf pain. And even more importantly, vitamin E protects the arteries from oxidative stress, the same damage that stiffens vessels with age. With protection restored, the arteries regain the ability to open fully when the legs need oxygen. The fourth vitamin is equally powerful but works in a completely different way. Vitamin C, the vessel-repairing nutrient. Vitamin C is not just an immune booster, it is the structural engineer of your blood vessels. Your arteries depend on vitamin C to maintain their elasticity. Without it, the collagen inside the artery walls begins breaking down. The vessels stiffen like old rubber hoses left in the sun. They lose their ability to expand when your muscles demand more blood. This stiffness is one of the core reasons seniors experience calf burning during walks, slow recovery after climbing stairs, and that familiar heavy leg syndrome. But when vitamin C levels are restored, the arteries regain flexibility. They soften, they rebound, they behave more like they did 20 years ago. Fresh oxygen flows through them more easily. Seniors who felt like their legs were dragging often experience what feels like a lift, as if the muscles are getting the oxygen they've been begging for. Vitamin C also plays a crucial role in building new capillaries. When circulation has been poor for years, the body often compensates by growing new tiny vessels, but only if it has enough vitamin C. Without it, the rebuilding stops. With it, the network expands, delivering more oxygen to the deepest parts of the legs and feet. This is one reason some seniors notice improved skin color, faster healing, and warmer feet after increasing their vitamin C intake. The impact of vitamin Z and C becomes especially clear when you listen to stories from seniors whose lives were quietly shrinking due to poor circulation. There was Eric, a 68-year-old cyclist from Copenhagen, who could no longer ride because his legs burned after just 10 minutes. He thought his stamina was fading with age. But the truth was simpler: his arteries were stiffening and his capillaries were clogged. When his doctor increased his vitamin C and vitamin E intake, Eric described the change like this: "It felt like someone added fresh air to my legs." Months later, he was cycling again, not like he did at 40, but stronger than he believed possible at 68. And then there was Marlene, a retired teacher from Toronto who spent 5 years with cold, discolored feet. She tried heated pads, compression socks, ointments, nothing worked. But when her specialist discovered she was deficient in both vitamin E and vitamin C, her treatment finally shifted. Within 2 weeks, the color in her toes improved. Within 6 weeks, she walked longer distances without stopping. She said, "My feet feel alive again. These vitamins do not act alone, they act together. Vitamin E clears the pathways. Vitamin C rebuilds them. One removes blockages, the other restores flexibility. And when they begin working alongside vitamin D and B12, circulation becomes something the body can finally revive instead of merely endure." In next part, we reveal the final vitamin, the one that unclogs arteries, prevents calcium buildup, and dramatically improves blood flow in seniors who feel stuck no matter what they try. If vitamins D, B12, E, and C lay the foundation for circulation recovery, the final vitamin on this list acts like the master repair tool, the one that clears out the deepest blockages, the one that prevents arteries from hardening, the one that gives seniors back the freedom to move without fear. This vitamin doesn't just improve blood flow, it rewrites the future of your circulation. And surprisingly, most adults over 60 have never even heard of it. That vitamin is vitamin K2, the artery liberator. K2 is different from every other vitamin we've discussed because it doesn't boost blood flow by opening your vessels or feeding your nerves. Instead, it works by removing the one thing that chokes circulation more aggressively than anything else: calcium buildup inside your arteries. This is the quiet process known as calcification, and it affects millions of older adults without them ever realizing it. Over decades, tiny calcium particles drift into the walls of your arteries. They harden the vessel walls, They narrow the passageways. They create a stiffness that no stretching, massage, or exercise can fix. Seniors feel this hardening not as pain but as heaviness, slow walking, cold feet, burning calves, and early fatigue. Many believe it's poor fitness. Many believe it's age. In reality, it's calcium blocking their arteries like cement. Here's the part doctors often fail to explain clearly. Calcium doesn't belong in your arteries. It belongs in your bones. Vitamin K2 is the traffic controller that moves calcium to the right place. Without K2, calcium drifts into your arteries. With K2, calcium is redirected into your skeleton where it strengthens your bones instead of suffocating your blood vessels. When seniors begin restoring their K2 levels, something remarkable happens. The arteries begin softening. The stiffness decreases. Blood begins gliding through pathways that had been narrowed for years. Seniors often describe the change as a release, as if their legs suddenly feel lighter, freer, more responsive. Circulation increases not because the arteries force themselves open, but because the obstructions were lifted. One of the most dramatic transformations comes from the Netherlands, where researchers discovered that older adults with high K2 intake had 52% lower arterial calcification than those who consumed very little K2. These seniors walked better, recovered faster, and reported significantly warmer feet and better balance. Their arteries weren't just functional, they were flexible, youthful, alive. This explains stories like the one from Hendrik, a 73-year-old former carpenter from Rotterdam. He had lived for years with tight, wooden-feeling calves. Walking even short distances left him breathless and frustrated. He assumed he was getting old, but a vascular specialist tested his calcium score and discovered significant artery hardening. His treatment plan included vitamin K2, along with mild dietary changes. Months later, Hendrik said, "My legs feel like they're mine again, not heavy, not stiff, just normal." Then there's Elise, a 70-year-old art teacher from Marseille, who suffered from cold feet for nearly a decade. No socks helped, no creams helped. Even doctors were unsure. But when she began taking vitamin K2, something changed. Her circulation opened, her feet warmed, her energy returned. "I thought my feet forgot how to feel warm," she said. K2 reminded them. Vitamin K2 is the final key because it addresses the one problem vitamins alone cannot fix: calcium in the wrong place. Once K2 redirects that calcium, everything improves. Blood flows easier, oxygen travels faster, nerves relax, muscles feel lighter, and walking becomes something seniors do confidently again, not cautiously. Together, these 5 vitamins create a system. Vitamin D opens the vessels. Vitamin B12 wakes the nerves. Vitamin E clears the pathways. Vitamin C repairs the vessels. Vitamin K2 keeps the arteries clean and flexible forever. Circulation is not a mystery. It is chemistry, physics, and nourishment. Fix the chemistry, restore the physics, supply the nourishment, and your legs will rediscover the strength you thought was gone. When seniors hear the word circulation, most think of blood pressure, cholesterol, or heart health. Very few think about the vitamins quietly guiding every inch of blood flowing through the legs and feet. But now you understand something most people never learn. Circulation is not just about the heart pushing blood downward. It is about a coordinated symphony of nutrients, vessels, nerves, and cellular signals that must all work together. And when even one of those nutrients falls, the entire system begins to unravel. This is why so many adults over 60 suddenly feel their legs changing. The steps become slower, the walks become shorter. The nights become filled with cramps, the toes lose warmth. The calves grow heavy. It does not happen because your body is aging. It happens because your vessels, nerves, and muscles are starving for what they once had in abundance. And once you restore the vitamins that hold this system together, something extraordinary begins. Your body responds. This is the part seniors never expect. They assume the damage is permanent. They assume their legs will never feel light again, never feel warm again, never feel steady again. But the moment the deficiencies are corrected, the body wakes up from a long, slow sleep. The arteries begin reopening. The nerves begin firing correctly. The microcirculation in the toes starts flowing again. The muscles receive oxygen they have been begging for. And within weeks, many seniors describe a shift so profound they struggle to explain it. They simply say, "My legs feel like mine again." The final advice is not complicated. It is not a special diet. It is not a strict routine. It is one simple truth: your legs will only function as well as the nutrients that support them. If vitamin D falls, the arteries stiffen. If B12 collapses, the nerves misfire. If vitamin E drops, the blood thickens. If vitamin C disappears, the arteries harden. And if vitamin K2 is missing, calcium fills your vessel walls like cement. Restoring these vitamins restores your circulation, not in theory, but in daily life, when you stand up from a chair, when you take your first morning steps, when you walk to your mailbox, when you climb a flight of stairs, when you lie down to sleep. And here is your bonus insight, something most doctors forget to mention. Circulation vitamins do not work alone. They work best when taken with movement, not exercise. Not gym workouts, just movement, a short walk, a few steps after meals, light ankle circles while sitting, gentle calf raises while brushing your teeth. These small movements act like a pump, sending the vitamins into the deepest parts of the legs, activating the vessels they are repairing. Seniors who combine proper vitamins with small daily movements see dramatically faster results. Their feet warm sooner, their balance improves sooner, their cramps fade sooner, their confidence returns sooner. Your body is not waiting for perfect workouts. It is waiting for signals that blood is needed, that strength is needed, that restoration is needed. Movement sends that signal. The question now becomes simple. What will your next 30 days look like? Will they look like the last 30, filled with cold feet, slow steps, and restless nights? Or will they become the beginning of your recovery, the moment your circulation begins returning, the moment your legs begin waking, the moment your confidence rises with every step? Because your legs are not finished, your circulation is not gone, your strength is not beyond repair. You are not too old to improve. You are not too late to change. Your body has been waiting silently, patiently, for the right nutrients to unlock its healing potential again. And now, you finally know what those nutrients are. And as you begin restoring vitamin D, B12, E, C, and K2, pay attention to the small changes. The gentle warmth in your toes, the lighter feeling in your calves, the reduced tightness after sitting, the easier time walking up a slight hill. These small changes are not coincidences. They are your body reopening pathways that were closed for years. This is your turning point. So, as we end this video, I want you to remember one message. Circulation can come back. Strength can come back. Warmth can come back. Confidence can come back. You simply needed the missing pieces. And now you have them. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone you care about. Many seniors are silently suffering without answers. And make sure you subscribe for more senior health tips, because your best years of mobility, strength, and independence are not behind you. They are waiting ahead. Your legs are ready for a new chapter. Let's begin it together.